Well, as the war in Iran heads into its second month, the United States and Iran continue to trade strikes. Tehran hit a fully loaded Kuwaiti oil tanker in the Persian Gulf. The U.S., meanwhile, struck the central Iranian city of Isfahan early this morning, sending a massive fireball into the sky. For the very latest on the situation in Iran at the moment, let's bring in France 24's Reza Sayah, who joins me now from there. Reza, heavy bombings there last night, early again this morning. Just tell us a bit more about what's been happening with the strikes in Iran.
Yeah, it's quiet now, but like you said, more airstrikes around dawn this morning. State media reporting at least 4 locations hit in the capital. Last night, around 9 p.m. local time, more airstrikes, huge explosions here. This morning, airstrikes knocked out power in parts of Tehran. That's happened 2 days in a row now. And during the overnight hours, reports of airstrikes knocking out power in the island of Esh. That's an island in the Strait of Hormuz. State media says the power is back, but these strikes have Iranians worried. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to hit Iran's energy grid, a move that would obviously impact millions of Iranians and raise questions about violations of international law. Almost every day now, you're seeing residential buildings hit. This morning, state media reported a leading pharmaceutical drug manufacturer was hit. The offices of a Qatari news outlet was hit over the weekend. Sports facilities, universities, industrial sites have been hit. And Iran's response has been to hit back. They targeted an oil tanker today, industrial hubs in the region, including aluminum factories in Bahrain and the Emirates and industrial sites in Israel. And they're also targeting U.S. bases and assets in the Gulf countries with missiles and drones. So it's a continuation of this cycle of violence that seems to be escalating.
Indeed, and of course, this all comes as Iran does continue to maintain its hold on the Strait of Hormuz. You were talking earlier about some of Donald Trump's comments. He has also made comments saying that he could possibly end the war without reopening the Strait of Hormuz. What kind of reaction has there been there to that?
Yeah, obviously, Iran's leadership is aware of Mr. Trump's statements, but to anyone listening, it's clear that many of his statements are often incoherent and inconsistent. One day he's saying he's negotiating, the next day he's saying he's sending in troops. Tehran has made its position clear. They're projecting the message that they no longer trust Washington and they're winning this war. And if there's going to be negotiations, it's going to be on fair terms that recognize Iran's rights. So the impression here is that Iran has taken a lot of hits. It's lost a lot, but it's also standing and inflicting a lot of damage against the U.S. In its bases in Israel. This is now clearly a war of attrition, and the question is, how do you get these sides to stop fighting and get back to talking? That obviously hasn't happened yet.
Reza, you mentioned the U.S. president also threatening a ground invasion in Iran. What kind of reaction has there been there to that?
Yeah, obviously a lot of threats about this ground invasion. The thinking behind invading the islands in the south, namely Kharg Island, is that it would apply so much economic pressure to Iran that they would surrender. But like many things in this war, that outlook has a lot of risks. If U.S. forces target Kharg Island, Iran says it's ready with troops, missiles, and drones. How will U.S. forces take control of the island? If they do take control, how are they going to keep it for weeks and months? Will it force Iran to surrender, or will it make things worse? So more questions that are still unanswered.